Welcome to Steps Forward with Ricky. I am your host, Ricky Friedman. I am a podcaster and a speaker and a mentor and a creator, and I help people take steps forward in their life, in their day, heal internally, and walk away from weed. For those that are new here, this is a walking podcast, so make sure you are putting one foot in front of the other as you're listening to this. And as always, grateful you're here. And, honestly, I was like, what am I going to talk about today? And I have so many things I want to talk about, and today is one of those episodes where I just want to talk. I have a lot of things on my mind right now, and I'm definitely been feeling a little anxious lately, and I created this podcast to just be able to talk and be real and express myself, because when I express myself, that's how I move through my emotions and my feelings and work through them. And so today's episode is just really me processing what I'm thinking right now out loud to you in real time. By the time you listen to this, maybe I'll have moved forward from some of these thoughts. But for right now, that's just where I'm at. And so I'm sure you'll be able to relate to the shit that I talk about, the things that I say. And, I've been having like kind of a rough couple weeks. And this time of the year is usually hard for me. It's the year, that time of the year my mom died, and it it brings up a lot of emotions. And sometimes I forget that, right? Like we forget certain events or certain things that happen during certain times, and we wonder why we're being so crazy or we're feeling a certain way. And there's definitely something towards or something to that for sure. She died on April 16th, and her funeral was April 19th, and there's just a lot of things. But even more than that, I've just been feeling like kind of burnt out. And there's a part of me that's burnt out, and there's a part of me that's feels like there's some old stories, some old limiting beliefs that are coming in and trying to, there's no nice way to say this, trying to fuck shit up. And it's been kind of hard for me lately. My life is really great. I feel pretty great. I'm doing all these awesome things, right? And then there's all these other little things, these like old stories and patterns that kind of try to scoot their way in or glide their way in. And the next thing you know, you're like, wait, what, am I good? Like, what's the deal here? And I'm just trying to acknowledge the stories and the old patterns that are coming in instead of listening to them. I'm just acknowledging them. I'm like, oh, hey, old story. Hey, limiting belief. Hey, low energy. Like, what's the deal here? And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't need to necessarily believe them, but I should acknowledge them, right? Like you should acknowledge the things that are coming in to your space, to your mind, to your world, and you should understand them, because it won't be the last time that an old story sneaks its way in, right? And for me, what I've been struggling with is a few different things. So, I've been go, 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 go. And I'm running this business, helping people walk away from weed. And I've got my podcast, and I got my TikTok and my Instagram, and I help people take steps forward. And so I'm doing all these different things that are pretty all related, right? And I'm going, 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 and I'm on this high. And I'm just a little burnt out. Love what I do so much. And I think that that's super important to normalize. Like we can love what we do, and we can feel inspired and get burnt out and question what we're doing. And we can still love what we do and keep doing it. And then I have this other thing going on right now. And this has sort of been a theme in my life. And it's coming up a little more right now because it just feels a little more, I don't know, present maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's an old story. I'm not really sure, guys. I'm just trying to work through it. But, I'm a very multifaceted person, right? And so I love helping people in all different kinds of ways. And I feel very equipped too, as well. I was a life coach for 11 years, a motivational speaker, and I've overcome my weed addiction. So I've faced a lot of different things in my life: losing my mom, heartbreak, addiction, weight loss, like habits. I've always felt that my gift, and maybe you can relate to this, is really helping people move move forward, take a step forward in their life. And the way that I do that is through speaking or coaching or mentoring or creating. And that's just who I am, right? And I love helping people take steps forward in their life through my podcast. And I love helping people walk away from weed. And I do all these different things, right? And there's just like still this part of me that is like so scared for some reason to like really lean into all these parts of me. Meaning I know that I can help people move through their relationships. Like I know I can help people take steps forward in their life, build healthier habits, execute on a business idea. I'm really creative. I know that I can help people walk away from weed. And for some reason, I get stuck in the sense where like I'm scared in some ways to like put other offers out there, to put other things out there, which is really interesting because I'm very confident in my abilities to help people. I've helped a lot of people. I've helped myself, and I feel like that maybe is where I have this disconnect right now. Is like I have healed so many of these things, like I'm even more equipped, right? And I have this little block. I'm trying to move through it. I don't know if you can relate to it. It's like you just have this little block and you're like, what is this thing that stands in my way? And it could be an old story, it could be an old pattern, it could just be like this old limiting belief that needs to be healed or needs to be worked on. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just like, life is good. I feel good. I'm a little burnt out, but that's super normal and I'm okay with that. But also, like, I know that I have the ability to help people do so many things in their life and I want to, right? Like, I want to. Helping people walk away from weed is incredible. I know that it's more than weed, right? If you're listening to this and that's, if you think it's just about the marijuana, like, it's not. It never is. Just like when I used to coach people to lose weight, it was never about the weight. It was never about the weight. I would work with someone and they're like, wow, I hired you to help me lose weight, but like, damn, I feel like I could do so many other things in my life now. And I know that about myself. And I don't know if you can relate to this. Like, do you ever just like, you're just like, damn, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared to put certain things out there. I know it's like a fear of failure. I think it's a fear of like, I don't want people to be confused. I don't know. I'm working through it and it's making me, I don't know. It's like, I just sort of thought I was over that fear of being all of me or stepping into all of me. And I think a lot of me is moved forward, has moved forward from that. And I'm having so much wonderful success and helping people walk away from weed because it's just incredible to watch people move forward in their life. And I know that I can help people with so many other things. So it's like, Ricky, come on, use your gifts, right? Like maybe you can relate to that. Like, don't limit yourself. And I do limit myself. I really do. I did this with life coaching, but it was a little bit different because I was a little more messed up because I was still smoking and like I really needed to heal. I really did need to work on myself because I really wasn't in the position to mentor on a few different things, right? But now I am. And sometimes when we do that, we question our gifts or we question our powers or we dim our light. And I feel like I'm doing that in some ways. I don't want to do that. Because if you're listening to this right now and you're struggling with your life, like I can help you. I want to help you. I've changed my whole life, really, truly. And just because I have things to work on, we all do, right? And so this is about someone who has walked away from weed in a relationship and traveled and explored and healed and is always healing, always growing. But this is about a girl who has a little more, who has a lot. All right, how do I say this? This is about the old stories that really, truly need to be rewritten. And I think it's interesting when you're healthy and you're healed and your life is really great, and then all of a sudden you feel that stuff, right? You feel that past come up, or you feel those old familiar feelings come up, and you're like, "Fuck! I thought I did this already. I thought I worked through this." And so, me talking about it right now might sound like the craziest episode ever, but when I talk about it out loud, I'm like, "That's not that scary, Ricky." Like, of course you can create other offers. Like, of course you can help people do so many things with their life. Of course you're multifaceted, ugh, fuck it, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a human being. And when I say it out loud, truly, I'm like, damn, that's it. What is the belief? What is under the belief? You know, it's like the same thing when I was smoking all the time. It's like, why are you smoking all the time? Like, what's the real reason? Like, what are you escaping from? And right now I'm a little burnt out, but am I burnt out, or am I just like, I know that I want to offer more and I don't really know how to do it because I'm scared. And when I'm scared, I tend to just stay back. I make myself small. Can you relate to that? Maybe you get high. Maybe you eat. I don't know. But I make myself small. It's like I retreat. And then I have these old feelings come in and I'm like, well, maybe I don't deserve this or that. And then I'm destructive. I haven't been destructive because I have other tools now. But I, in my heart, know who I am. I know what I can do. But sometimes our head fucks with our heart and it tells it some weird ass stories or old stories or things that are just not a part of your life anymore. And it's also an opportunity, you know, if you're struggling with old stories or old patterns or these making yourself small, it's not an opportunity to get mad at yourself. Like for me, it's like, damn, Ricky, this is a learning experience for you. This is another little thing of like, hey, Ricky, like let's work on this. Like you don't be destructive. Like don't, just because you're burnt out, don't stop posting, or just because you're scared, don't stop creating. Like let's review this. Like what is this old story? What is this unhealed pattern? So instead of getting high or being destructive, I mean, I definitely have been like in my head a little bit for sure. But instead of taking a step back from all the things that I'm doing, I'm trying to just talk about it and explore it and understand it. So I stop doing it, in terms of like stop telling myself things that aren't real or aren't true. They're just old truths. So I've always felt this in my life. And this was a really big part of my journey that was really challenging for me, was to accept that I was a person that could help on so many things and that I didn't really know how to put it all together. And helping people walk away from weed has really shined in on all of those things for me. And so is my podcast. Because I know people who listen to my podcast don't just listen to my podcast because I help them walk away from weed, right? Like there are a million things that I talk about in my podcast. And that makes me happy because you understand me as a person. You understand what I'm about, right? I help people take steps forward. Whatever step it is you're trying to take, like I'm trying to help you do that. And there's themes, right, that I talk about all the time, or concepts I talk about all the time. And yeah, so you're listening to someone right now in real time who's just feeling these real feelings. And it's not like an exciting thing. I don't, I thought about like not talking about it, but it's like, who fucking cares? Talk about it so you can move through it, so you can understand it, so you can continue to lead yourself and other people. Because setbacks or being burnt out or having old stories or old limiting beliefs or fears don't make you less of a leader. They actually make you more of a leader because you learn to work through them, and then you can help other people work through them, right? Every single thing I've done in my life, stood on a stage or created an Instagram post or put a TikTok video out or created a program or had a conversation with somebody, every single thing that I've ever helped anyone else with is something that I have experienced. Right? Like I know what it feels like to be stuck in a relationship that you know is not right, but you're not ready to leave. I know what it feels like to get high all day. I know what it feels like to be an addict. I know what it feels like to start a business. I know what it feels like to change your ideas. I know what it feels like to feel inadequate. Like these are the things that I know what it feels like, and I've worked through them, even if there are still old stories that come up. And it's like, I always tell people, like, if you have a gift, fucking share it. And maybe it's not so much about getting rid of the ghost or the old story, but it's learning to dance with it. It's learning to elevate and expand and level up and make a move, take a step forward, even when the old stuff comes in. And it feels good to talk about. And I'm telling you, I am pretty scared, like to put some of this stuff out there. But just like walking away from weed and just like walking away from my relationship and changing my life, like it was a fucking lot scarier to stay where I was at. So thank you for letting me rant. That felt really good. And I'm here. Like, I'm not going anywhere. We're only just getting started. Like, walking away from weed is just the beginning. Like, I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve and I'm here. And if you relate to my podcast and you're working through something in your life and you need more support, like I am here through my podcast, through my programs. And I'm going to work through these certain things so that I can be more of service to you. So I can move forward in my own life. So that's it. That was a bunch of rants. And I don't know what you'll think of this episode, but I feel good about it because that's what I needed. I needed to not just think about my fears. I needed to say them out loud to you. When you say something out loud and you work through it out loud, you can hear it. You can understand it better. So can we be scared and take a step forward? Yes. Can we be scared and start that business? Yes. Can we do one thing and a second thing? Yes. Absolutely. So don't limit yourself. Don't pretend to be someone you're not if you have more to offer. Don't make yourself small because you're nervous to make yourself big. Take up fucking space. Walk away from the shit in your life that makes you small. Be scared and do it anyways. If you want more and you know that you have more to offer and you know that people could benefit from it, don't keep it to yourself. Put it out there. I hope you had a good walk. If this is your first episode listening, I promise there are other episodes for you to go through that are a little more organized, but I just this is my space. This is my space to just be Ricky and work this shit out. And so we're working it out in real time because it's real life. I love you guys. And I also wanted to mention that the next Walking Away from Group program is in May. And I'm going to cap it at a certain amount of people. If you are looking to walk away from weed, develop coping skills, shift your mindset, and reprogram your belief and meet other people, this is an amazing opportunity for you to take a step forward. DM me on Instagram or you can email me. There's my information, below on this podcast in the description, but let's get you signed up. Let's get you going. Space is limited. And I will be putting out some more offers in the weeks to come to help you take steps forward in your life. I'm really excited. So May 9th to 11th is the next Walking Away from Weed group. I hope to see you there. I hope you'll sign up. And I'm here for you. Let's do it. New day, new choices. Hope you had a great walk. Drink some water. Love you. Goodbye.